Hello, this is Magnus here, and today I wanted to do another top 5 list. And today's top 5 list, top 5 features I would like to see in an update with Magic Lantern for the 5D Mark IV. Now the 5D Mark IV is one of my favorite cameras to use, obviously, but there are a few features which Canon has received a ton of complaints about online. But with the Magic Lantern firmware, those features can be addressed, if not by Canon, by Magic Lantern themselves. So all the hackers and all those that work on the Magic Lantern software give us the abilities that we look for in the Canon cameras that unfortunately Canon themselves have not upgraded. I have the Canon 6D and I use the Magic Lantern software on that camera, and I can tell you it has improved the usability of that camera tenfold just by the updated features that we did not have with the original 6D. It's not released for the 5D Mark IV yet, but recently it was announced just a little while ago, maybe a couple of weeks ago, that they actually cracked the firmware for the 5D Mark IV, and they'll be able to hopefully shortly update a Magic Lantern firmware version which everyone would like to use. So let me tell you the top 5 features that I would ask of those programmers to program into the camera to make this camera stellar and would compete with the competition. So here's number 5, zebra lines and focus picking. Now they implemented this in previous updates of the Magic Lantern software, and hopefully they would continue to do that with the 5D Mark IV. Unfortunately, focus peaking and zebra lines were left out of the Canon's firmware, but to add that into the 5D Mark IV would be extremely useful. Dual pixel autofocus is great and almost eliminates the need for autofocus. But when you're doing manual focus, having the ability to show focus peaking on the screen would be a huge plus, as well as having zebra lines to show where you're over or underexposed, which has always been helpful for videographers. Moving on. Next, number 4, markers on the screen to show pretty much where you need to position yourself, or rule of thirds on the camera, or just a lot more customizable screens so that you can set up your shot exactly the way you need. Canon comes with a few of those on the camera, but the ability for the 5D Mark IV to expand that using the Magic Lantern software would be a definite plus, so that we can use a few added or custom set GIF files that let you apply your own kind of lines and break out of the footage so that you can get the shot the way you want it. That's what I would like. Number 3, expanded dynamic range, dual ISO dynamic range. Now, the 5D Mark IV already has expanded dynamic range setting, but to have that further enhanced with customizable ISO settings on the 5D Mark IV would be an added plus. When I compared that in one of my earlier videos with the 6D and the 5D Mark IV, you can see that the 6D had an expanded dynamic range capability just because of the Magic Lantern software allowed that to happen. 5D Mark IV does it in camera, but it would be nice if this expanded feature was at least available on the 5D Mark IV using the Magic Lantern software. Moving on to number 2, the ability to record RAW files. Now no joke, we're already used to, if you have a 5D Mark IV and you're recording 4K footage, you're already used to extremely large files with its 500 megabits per second recording ratio. Now, if we can handle that, why wouldn't we be able to handle RAW files? That'll give us expanded capability to edit the colors of our files and to have enormous range when it comes to color correcting in post. And giving us that freedom would be a huge plus, something that RAW files definitely give you. And because we're already used to large files thanks to the 4K files, having RAW files would be a definite plus. Now imagine that, and with 4K footage, that would be amazing. But I'm not even asking for that much. 1080p RAW files, and I will be a happy cinematographer with the 5D Mark IV, thanks to the Magic Lantern software. And the number 1 requested feature that I would ask for, now this is my personal list, this may not be the same for everybody, but my personal ask for the 5D Mark IV with the Magic Lantern software is give us the ability for a different type of encoding for 4K footage. We're already limited to the MJPEG footage, and we cannot change that right now. But if somehow the programmers were able to switch it up and give us some sort of maybe light, maybe not compress it too much, because we understand that the processor would probably overheat, and that's why you have the MJPEG, but some sort of other type of compression that would at least do a better job than the MJPEG. Sure, you have to sacrifice a bit of quality because MJPEG does an excellent job of intra-frame encoding, but the ability to at least choose another type of compression, if we so choose, would be a huge plus and a huge reason why I can turn around and tell other people that are pretty much turned off by the 5D Mark IV that you can now get the features you want off the 5D Mark IV thanks to the Magic Lantern software, especially that a new compression type for 4K footage. That's basically my opinion. What are your asks for the Magic Lantern software? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you think of this video. And of course, hit that like button. And finally, make my day if you subscribe today. This is Magnus and I'm out. By the way, if you're interested, check out my previous videos. See ya.